Hello and welcome to Back on Track Trains. Today we are taking a closer look at the Lionel Flying Yankee. The mid-1930s saw the rise of the streamline steam locomotive, and Lionel, keeping up with what was going on real tracks, introduced several models of streamline trains, including this model of the Boston and Maine's Flying Yankee. Originally cataloged in 1935 in all chrome, this is a 1936 version with a gray painted front and tail. Sold as set 267E in 1936, it came with the 616 engine, two 617 coaches, and the 618 observation car, along with a controller and a track. In 1936, there are no prices listed, but in the 1935 catalog, this set listed for $10.95 or $243.86 in 2023 dollars. This set has several interesting features that really differentiate it from the typical steam sets that Lionel was putting out in the day. And first, obviously, is that great streamline shape, and the other is the chrome and the aluminum finish on it. This one has some tarnishing up here, but you can really see in the light where it shines throughout, and previously mentioned the gray front on it and the gray at the tail end of the observation. But the way that this whole train comes together is very different. Typical trains have the couplers that lock the two cars together. This has a series of interlocking vestibules, and if we pull the motor forward here, you release the cars by pressing this button, and then you'll see this is the engine. It only has wheels in the front. There are no wheels in the back at all, so you can sit it down here and take a look. And what connects the cars, if you separate this one, the same thing happens. You just have this car here, and these vestibules all come out. So this is what connects the cars all together. And it's an interesting set of ways that it works. You see there's also a light bulb in there, but the way that the cars couple together, there's this releasing mechanism in there, and you have to get this tongue directly within that slot in order for it to loop down. It can be a little bit tricky, but you have to get it right in there and then lock it down and then make sure it's nice and snug. I've had this one jump off the rail a couple of different times. It does have a good turning radius there, but if you don't get it in there just right, they will pop out. And then again, to release, it just comes out like that. So here we have the engine, which is also really unique. It has just a four-wheeled motor there. So in typical steam, when you say, it's a 464 or a 242, this just has a two-wheeled motor, so you can't use those designations at all. And it's up in there, and you can see where the drive wheels come. Let's take a look underneath and show you the engine specifically. So there's a single screw. That's all that holds the motor in. It's mixed within the steam stacks there, the smoke stacks there. So you take this screw out, and it will drop the engine down. So you want to be a little bit careful. What I did last time is I rested it on the table just like this to make sure I didn't drop the engine. Take the screw out, and then it lowers from underneath. You can pull it out just like so. And it's a self-contained unit. So really simple, typical, brushes, commutator, all that. A light that pops up there. The car does light up. And there's this pivot knob there. So that's what holds it within this receptacle. So it's actually screwed in. It's not, the body doesn't screw to the engine. The screw comes in behind that pivot point. So when you put it back together, you slot it in and move it forward, just like that. You can sort of see on the video, you pull it back or slot it forward, and then the screw sits and locks it in. So the screw will come in right behind that pivot point and lock it in. A little bit of a tip with this, when I got this train wasn't running at all. Every time I powered it up, it shorted the transformer out, so nothing was happening. And then what I realized was when when you put the motor back in, the light was pressing down, and the light was actually shorting against itself, so that the bulb was coming down and it was shorting up against the chassis and the other parts. So all I did was put a piece of electrical tape right there, and it completely solved the problem, and now this is a great running locomotive. Moving on to the passenger car. Again, the designation on the passenger car on the coach is 617. It's got these great rails on either side of the door. This one does have some oxidation, I guess is what you would call it, because these are chrome. You can see it on the roof here, and I've seen this on some other ones for sale. But overall in really good shape, and you can see it just straight through, not much to it. And because of the vestibules, there's no wheels on it or anything like that. So just a really nice piece, but simple and straightforward. The original set would have come with 2 coaches. This set that I received only has 1, so it is missing 1617. So it's an incomplete set. There's a little bit of a scratch up there that I can see too. So it's incomplete, but really runnable, really sounds great when it's on the rail, lights up, and looks really good. The observation car is the last car in the set, and again, it has another vestibule that detaches with another light in there. The rear wheels here don't detach, so this is one unit, again with the gunmetal gray observation. This is just a great looking car from the back as well as the front. When you take those 2 views, you have that great nose, that great Yankee Clipper nose on the front, and then this great observation car in the back. It's just a great looking car. Really speaks to that Art Deco time frame. So the observation car is really wonderful, a little bit longer than the coach car because of the gray rounded back, but something that looks really great. And if you want that 1930s pre-war train that looks modern, it almost seems like it's something out of an old Superman comic book or something like that from the era. So really neat set. This one is a great runner in pretty good condition. There's a little bit of issues, like I pointed out before, with some of the oxidation on the engine here. There's a little bit of a dent there, but it doesn't detract from it too much. Again, this one is incomplete. It's got a little bit of discoloration there. It looks like somebody got some red paint on it. I haven't cleaned it at all, and I don't really have any intention to do that. I just like it as a really great runner. And then when it moves on to its next owner, they can restore or enjoy or use however they want. So here it is, just a great mid-1930s set, the Flying Yankee from 1936. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We've got a lot more Lionel train content coming your way.